Netanyahu's remarks expose the core of Israel's modern strategy: influence over accountability. From the mass killings in Gaza, where thousands of children, women, and civilians perished, to hostile strikes on Qatar, Iran, Yemen, and beyond, its unchecked aggression has backfired. Trump's 20-point roadmap is at best a political escape hatch for Netanyahu. How do you sell disarmament to fighters who see their weapons as dignity's last defense? Benjamin Netanyahu, standing at United Nations General Assembly's 80th session, speaking to rows of empty chairs, is more than a snapshot. It is a symbol of Israel's unprecedented global isolation. Netanyahu's remarks expose the core of Israel's modern strategy: influence over accountability. By elevating TikTok and other platforms as weapons, Israel reveals its heavy reliance on Hasbara structured propaganda campaigns aimed at reshaping narratives, deflecting criticism, and silencing dissent. While its military operations continue on ground, Israel's parallel offensive unfolds in media spaces, diplomacy, and intelligence circles. This dual strategy highlights not strength, but desperation. An attempt to mask deepening isolation as more nations and societies reject its actions and demands accountability. Once projecting itself as a regional powerhouse with unshakable alliances, Israel now finds itself abandoned, shunned, and condemned. From the mass killings in Gaza, where thousands of children, women, and civilians perished, to hostile strikes on Qatar, Iran, Yemen, and beyond, its unchecked aggression has backfired. What was once fear-driven silence among nations has turned into open defiance, with countries including Israel's longtime allies recognizing Palestine as a sovereign state. Protesters flood streets across continents, holding Israel accountable. The humiliation was so sharp, the isolation so undeniable, that Israel, commoded and weakened, was forced into what was once deemed impossible, bowing to Trump's 20 points peace agenda, an agreement it once swore it would never accept. And that is where the story of Israel's downfall truly begins. The plan was not another empty declaration. Washington unveiled its most important ambitious attempt yet to end the Gaza war. A 20-point roadmap drafted with input from Tony Blair Institute, endorsed by Arab and Islamic capitals, and framed as a pathway to reconstruction and even a distant promise of Palestinian statehood. From Riyadh to Doha, Cairo to Jakarta, leaders call it a step towards sustainable peace. Pakistan's Prime Minister Shehbaz Sharif and Army Chief Qasim Munir voiced support. Even Europe joined in. Macron, Sunak, Erdogan, and surprisingly Narendra Modi lined up to say this might be the breakthrough the Middle East has been waiting for. But back in Israel, the cracks showed immediately. Netanyahu smiled for cameras, yet his far-right allies, Tom Rich and Ben Gvir, called it treason. To them, the plan was not peace but surrender, a hidden road to Palestinian statehood. Their fury threatened to collapse Netanyahu's fragile coalition. Opposition leader Yair Lapid offered him survival, a safety net in parliaments, underscoring the irony. Allies plotting his downfall, rivals offering him lifelines. Hamas, meanwhile, waved the whispers. Doha and Cairo hinted at truce, aid, and ceasefire. Tempting, yes, but disarmament, exile, or foreign supervised amnesty? Fighters called it unacceptable. Gaza will not be ruled by outsiders. Still, with more than 42,000 Palestinians killed, 70% of homes destroyed, and UN agencies warning of famine, desperation may force choices, but ideology resists. For Trump, this was legacy. He bragged that Arab, Asian, and Western capitals backed him. A roll call of validation, he said. Optics mattered, a US president flanked by Netanyahu selling peace. But every endorsement came with caveats. Saudi Arabia insisted on two-state framework. Turkey warned against occupation in another form. Pakistan backed humanitarian relief but rejected Gaza as a managed prison. And here lies the truth. The plan is not just about Gaza, it's about Israel's global standing. Months of war left it isolated. The UN General Assembly vote 143 nations demanding a ceasefire, only 9 against, showcase the shift. Images of bombed hospitals, mass graves, and displaced families eroded sympathy. Israel's government has never been so committed. Trump's 20-point roadmap is at best a political escape hatch for Netanyahu, a way to trade isolation for legitimacy, outrage for cautious applause. But contradictions remain. How do you talk peace while bombs still fall? How do you promise statehood when far-right ministers threaten to topple your government over it? How do you sell disarmament to fighters who see their weapons as dignity's last defense? For Israel, it's survival. For Palestinians, justice long denied. For Trump, legacy. For the world, a test. Can paper rewrite decades of blood? Inside the White House, applause was loud. But outside, in Gaza's ruins and Israel's fractured parliament, the reality was harsher. Dreams are easy, peace is harder. And for Israel, global isolation is no longer a risk. It is the new reality.